Hey guys, so another down and dirty with Gary from customcuts.ca. It was asked how to stroke out, um, how to put cut lines on text with with a stroke around it. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through the steps that I use um, to achieve this. Now, this is what we're trying to achieve with the white stroke around with the gut line with the middles cut out. Okay, so going to lock up my first one. You create a new layer, create another new layer. You need a background. I know you can switch up to put the document in the setup mode, but sometimes it's just easier to put a background. Okay, now get in the habit of naming your layers. I know it takes time, but when you come back to this later on, you'll be happy. Been doing it for 25 years, and when you don't name it and you come back to it, you have to hunt for things. So then you're just gonna go up to the other new layer and create your text. I chose the ever popular squealer. Okay. You're going to color it. Okay. Going to use the company colors because push your brand whenever you can. Don't be modest. That's plain and simple. Don't be modest. Be proud of what you're doing and push your brand. If you don't like it, no one else will. So you create your text, and the one thing, when you create colors in your swatches, create a new swatch, make it a global color. Okay, that way you can change it in your swatches and it affects everything that you've done, and that way you're not picking from the layers menu to change colors. You can globally change the color right on the fly. Okay, so, and then for working with text, what you want to do is over here, turn off the fill, and then go into your appearance panel. Okay, create a new fill, and then you're going to use your swatch that you just created to fill it, right? Then you're going to create a new stroke. Okay, and let's go with the red for now, just so you could see it. Or, you know what? We'll go with the white. Okay. And the white is the roll-on spot color for white. You might as well always use spot color, guys, especially for white, or you're going to end up with pebbling and noise on your prints. Okay. So you turn on the stroke and set it to what you want. That's way too big. So we'll set it to 1. But the beauty here, guys, is with doing it in the appearance panel, you could drag your stroke around. So now it's underneath the fill. It's not over top of the fill. Okay, so now you can increase it a bit to 2, right? For demonstration purposes, which gives you one on the outside, one on the inside. Okay. Now, what do you do with this? Because if you stroke the, if you try to put the contour cut on this right now, it won't work, right? You end up with cuts all over. So what you have to do, okay. So what you're gonna do, you create your main thing, lock it off, and duplicate it. Hide that one, okay? That way you always have your live text to go back to, right? Always create duplicates, guys. That way you've got a backup and you can go back, right? Doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't bog down the system because it's vector, so it's like next to nothing, right? So always create duplicates and work on the duplicate, right? That way you can go back in a step if you mess up, okay? So unlock this, right? Now, most people would be very tempted to hit create outlines. This is going to work, but it makes life difficult, okay? So what you're gonna do is go up to object, expand appearance, okay? This is going to give you 2 separate entities. It's going to give you your colored and your stroke, okay? You can lock off your color and you can turn it off, okay? So you can see this, what it looks like the stroke is by itself, right? And you're saying, well, what am I gonna do now? Okay, so once again, name this separate, okay? So duplicate it. That way you have it if you need to go back to it at some point because you messed the next part up, okay? So this is when you hit create outline, okay? And it gets a little nasty and confusing, yes, but there's your outline, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're going to path outline stroke, okay? So it's no longer a stroke, it's a fill now. Now you're saying, but Gary, there's all this in here. This is when the work begins, okay? You, for each compound path, you have to release it and merge it and cut out of it. So for the K, you've got, I'm gonna change the colors here so you can see. I'm just gonna, of course we have to go in. Oh, helps if you're on fill and not stroke. Okay, I'm just gonna change the colors so you can see what it looks like. The 3 components of the K. There's the inner part, the outer part, and the hole that you want, okay? So over here, let's see if we can get a little bit closer, okay? So you've got the inner part, the outer part, the inner part, the outer part, and the hole, okay? The holes are always going to be on the top, and then the inner and the outer, okay? The inner and the outer, you merge together. Then you take, no, yes, and then you take the hole with the merged, and you subtract it. And I'll do that again with it actually on the screen, okay? This will release, okay? Hole, inner, okay? And then outer. Take your inner and outer, merge them. Take your hole and subtract it, okay? This time I'm not going to, S is easy. It's just merging everything, okay? That's my dog, say hello. Once again, the T, trying to get everything in, but at a close angle. T, everything, merge. O, these are always fun, okay? You release it. Bottom two are inner outer stoplex. The whole subtract. M, release. Oh, hold on, wrong one. And you can also name as you go along. Stop it, Lexi. Go. Hold on for a second, guys. No, go on. Outside. Go. Down and dirty, always something, right? M. So now you've got two holes you got to do. Okay. So take your pass and merge them. Move it up because the hole always has to be on the top before you take it off. The K, release. This hole, that's why I picked Squealer, because it makes fun holes, fun extra holes you have to deal with. Okay, so merge the two bottoms. You released it. Bottom two, merge, hole, subtract. T, release and merge. Z, release and merge. Okay? So now, and we'll just turn these back to, oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I'll undo. The two that were off colored were we're just turning back to white. Okay. Now you have successfully made your background. Okay. So you can turn this on. You see it? This you want to call merged. Just name it something so you know what it is. Okay? Because I said what I said, you're gonna make another copy of this, right? This will probably be the final. Turn this off. Now, this all has to be merged together, okay? Because you got overlappings, like up here, right? It all has to be merged together. And that gives you your solid white behind your color, okay? Your solid white, even though you can turn it off when you're printing, right? Like if you turn it off now, you're not going to see nothing, right? But when you're printing, you don't need it. But if you're using it, make sure you're using the 01A spot color. That way you're not getting your noise unless you're printing in True Rich, and that seems to off skew the white. I found that. Anyway, that's a different story. So now that you've got that group, okay, what you're going to do is duplicate that group, okay? Sorry, like I said, down and dirty, no editing, not nice, not all polished. You're going to duplicate that group. This is now your back white, whatever you want to call it, okay? Now with this, you want to turn it into a compound path. It's just easier to work with a compound path than a group. This is pretty final. So you need the backups so you can go back if you need to. But that's Control 8, guys. Learn your keyboard shortcuts. And if they're not there, go into Preferences, Keyboard Shortcut. What is it? Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts. Okay? Put in the stuff you use all the time. That way, your workflow's way faster. Anyway, so you've turned it into a compound path. Okay? And what I'm going to do is just shove it up here. It's white. Let me turn it into something else, just so you can see it. Okay? Compound path. It's the same as your white background. This is now your cut line. Okay? So I have, and do yourself a favor, I'll do another video on how to do this, but make a graphic style that's contour cut. That way it's always the 0.25 magenta stroke with the contour cut name. You don't have to make it every single time. You're cutting, that way you're cutting down your production time. It's way fast. Okay? So now that's it. And what I'll do is turn off these. There's your contour cuts. Okay? Send it, well, let me back it up here so you can see a little bit. rename it cut, just so you know, right? And there you have it, right? Group together. Okay, let's unlock these. Group together. So you can resize it. And everything stays the same. Except your cut, the stroke on your cut line will change a little bit, but that doesn't matter. Okay? That will not matter in the end when you put it in Versaworks to cut. Okay? Now I'm going to go one step further than what was requested. Because this is what am I doing? I got one selected. Okay. Because this is a white outline, you don't need a bleed. Okay? I'm going to go one step further and show you what you do for the bleed. Okay? So, you got your white background, which we are now going to turn to, let's pick a nice, let's pick yellow. No, yeah, yellow will work. Okay, so you've got your yellow, your orange yellow, which is, and your yellow. The yellow is now the background. And then your contour cut. You need a bleed because no cutter is 100% accurate, dead on. You need a bleed outside to make for shifting. Plain and simple. Okay? So what do? Do you put a stroke on this? No. What I do, select the cut and offset it. I always do it round, and I always do an eighth of an inch. Is it an eighth or 16th of an inch? I know it's big, but that's the way I roll. Okay? So when you do that, change it, switch these up, and change it to your background color. Right? And then drag it down to the bottom and name it bleed. Okay? That way you have your bleed around. Now, this looks huge because this is only 3 inches, right? That's plain, that's the way, well, actually it's only 2 inches wide, okay? And half an inch tall. So it's going to look huge compared to the size of the text. Anyway, guys, that's how you do it. I know this is a long video. I explained a lot and went over everything. I can do this in like a minute. The more you do it, the better it is and the faster you get. Anyway, if you've got any comments or questions, please leave them down below. And please subscribe to my channel. I know there's not a lot of content right now, but as things pop up, I'm adding, right now I'm adding daily, but I'll add as much as I can when I can. I'm a busy guy running a one-man shop. So subscribe, hit the bell, and there's more content on the way. Thanks for watching.